InShalla and Ashe. Welcome to a Monday musing. Super excited about that. But blessings to you, my energetic beings. It is I once again. Welcome back to today's daily snippet. And as always, I am your host, a practicing holistic Sha medium, a subtle energetic surgeon. And my intention really is to use the power of these indigenous technologies, our original blueprint, to navigate our soul's harmonic through the realm of the elementals, the elemental highway, and into the imaginal realm, the subtle energies and elements and the elemental beings, with offerings, rituals, and prescriptions to really add to your own personal juice within your container. But my goal really is to really merge these wisdoms, the wisdom of these indigenous technologies, within the subtle realms into the etheric highway to assist you into navigating your prime directive, your inner genius, just reintroducing you to and through the magical being that I believe resides within each and every one of us. And I call myself a holistic Sha medium. My name is Tanya D, and as always, welcome to my virtual medicine room. So having the full moon just behind us and an eclipse ahead of us, it's like, has the season of Aries been a little bit action orientated? We've got our root center online for that whole season, but we're moving into Taurus with a whole nother subtle flowing going on. But we have this theme in the cosmic soup today, a theme of finding our village, the community that we thrive and vibe with, if you will. Just wondering where we do or don't belong. So the Great Spirit, the galactic universe, is literally calling. And if we do answer the call, or are we at this round table going towards these higher dimensions? Maybe we're in all of these dimensions simultaneously. That's what I believe. But we may just open a door to a new dimension that we may not have visited before in a village. But it's not a maybe kind of day. It's a yes day and a no day. The moon, the goddess that she is filtering our emotions through the season of Scorpio. And Scorpio is a no first and a yes later. But actually all of the fixed signs kind of do that. However, we have Venus at the Uranian frequency in the season of Pisces, which is spirit. So it's like, believe it, you're going to see it later. Our heart is the queen of our cosmic soup. She always has been, always will be. But we also have a frequency or an energy today where we have the ability to be in alignment with our heart's desires to manifest our personal manifestations, how we are seen, actually, because we're in the season of Aries. Aries is who we are. So often when this happens, we encounter like a gnat in our field, an outer challenge that at first appears like an obstacle in the way or a force of adversity, preventing us from our goal, that I am intention. So being that we're at the end of an I am transit of who we are, it really is time to go to the mountain top, be in our observation station, and take in the view from all perspectives, all directions, right? Including the heavenly realm and the earthly plane, not just the north, the south, the east, the west, and southwest, east, west, etc., etc. But what needs to be refined is our objective, the goal. That is for the higher, most elevated actual outcome. So be tuned into the accordion, if you will. My aunt used to play the accordion. The tonality that matches the same frequency that you wish to frequent before you commit and decide. So you may even feel as if you are flitting around today like a supercharged energy battery. So our feelings, we're feeling into the frequency of where we do belong. Even our thought, our mind's channel, they're in alignment, the solar plexus, syncing with manifesting, taking things out to the stage for our audience to build the technology, just creating them from order instead of chaos, hopefully innovating a new production field or producing something. So this may just stir our creative juices within that cosmic soup to really be productive, be organic, be natural. The elemental realm, a breakthrough is on its way. So it's like when one door opens, our heart space, the high heart, the queen and the chalice, because there's different frequencies in just the heart herself, that's going to be ready to also support the village to be abundant, to manifest this, whatever it is for each and every one of us. So You too may feel this abundance from the inside to the outside or from the outside to the inside, going down the stream, like with what we have begun the journey on, and being in that octave state of higher elevated gratitude, attitude for gratitude, for this platter, to already have it on the abundance platter. It's about protecting and loving the authenticity of our soul and our spirit merging together. So what we gave, what we have created, and also in doing so, that really allows for more of the juice, the abundance to really flow through. So it really takes at least 40 days for any action we take to become a habit that transforms authentically. So the best attitude to take is the one of gratitude and see the blessings that we already have. And maybe even take the time to write a new blessing for your day. So the universe just being blessed with the ability to go live today and like, thank you for that. Or an ancestor, you know, I'm blessed that you brought me to this juncture of goodness or gooder, whatever that looks like. And it's like, thank you for always having the eyes to see me, the ears to hear me, and the wisdom to guide me, etc. So really make it fun, be creative. So we have this ability to utilize the sun squaring Pluto. Who we are is transforming. So it's time to take the elevated path of positivity. So you too may feel this in an empowered embodiment or just being embodied. And if you haven't already, please be kind and do subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tanya D. Go ahead and hit the bell button so you too are notified. And also, if you don't mind, liking the videos so that algorithm echoes me out to suggest me to other like-minded musers in the galactic universe, along with other social channels like TikTok and Instagram and my podcast, Musing with Tanya D. And if you too wish to dive deeper, head on over to my Musing Corridor where I have offerings to also assist and guide you at club.tanyad.tv. I am your holistic shaman medium assistant, and you are your own healer. So sometimes we do need a shamanic coach to see beyond the beyond, sharing insight to an otherworldly perspective. So wherever you are at, I will for sure meet you there. But with the energy of the day, the moon in the frequency of Scorpio, the goddess that she is, the moon is super juicy for me, the high priestess shaman kind of thing. So we are exploring the realm of the elementals, if you will. And first up, which I find kind of curious, is the element of fire. There we go. So we're beginning our journey with the shaman's way in the season of fire. And fire is the action realm. So we're at the end degrees of fire of Aries. It's also that Martian energy and the cowrie shell divinations too. So we learn a lot about fire, the realm of it, the spirit of fire when we connect with our ancestors, the otherworldly beings, the source, our visions, our dreams. When we claim our personal fires, this is where we learn to be dynamic, we learn to be charismatic. Just claiming those personal fires, just allowing us to let our light shine brighter and lighter, to be impassioned with life, the mysteries of the transformation, the alchemy of it too. So changing forms, literally just dying of an old part, being born anew. So fire can be volatile. The fear of our own inner fires getting out of control. So there really is a skill, a magic to working with fire. So just being focused, being balanced, but it's also about being dynamic and passionate and just powerful from our core for life, and honoring our fire to effectively work with those flames, the sacred fires, merging our medicines, our gifts, creating the otherworldly awareness of those realms. But we have the shaman's way, and that's the ability to work within all the realms, the energies of them, nature, healing, the unseen, the eyes of the other world, just accessing the wisdom by non-ordinary means, radical ways, or ways that appear radical in the traditional normalness. So it's like going inward, an inward journey, a vision quest to kind of retrieve the information for a situation that might be upon us. So it's the medicine. So how is fire calling out today to work with us in a non-linear kind of shamanic otherworldly way? That's kind of a question to ask yourself. And then we have air following fire. And air, it's an air of peace, or peace in the air.
Where's all the egg rolls? How do you cook them?
Excuse me, I'll be back.
Oh shit.
I'm on a live show. stay longer. I don't know. They were in, I think. I'll have to take more.
I hope she gets sick. Love you, thank you.
Sorry about that. That's what happens when your dad comes home in the middle of the day. Doesn't know what you do. So back to air. So air is the integration of the entirety, the wholeness of the brain, if you will. The mental realm, the mental acuity. It's air and it's sound and it's really, it sets the vibrational tone of our life, the thoughts that we have, how conscious our language is, how interrelated, both the left and the right side of the brain just merging. How we work with invocations and prayer and intentions and meditations. They're all part of air, the forms of the realm of air. It's also Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. As far as the cosmic highway, so we've got all these mergings going on. But when we begin to authenticate, to see our life from that larger perspective, working with our tools, the tools of vision or sound even. So air is where we learn to soar. It's taking in the spirit of air to soar. And the sky really is not the limit. So we can fly when our thoughts and our vibrations are in alignment. We can fly out into the galaxy, really, right? So harmony within our heart's desires, the realm of air and our mental abilities, the solar plexus. So this is where our belief systems are held, the patterns and the patterning about life. So oftentimes, we're not even consciously aware if we choose our belief system or is it based on an outdated model. That's been passed down through our lineage, through the teachings, etc. The models, even books we read or schools, teachers, etc., etc. So it really takes a lot to really shift the mental models or the muddling of the model and the mental acumen, right? To really choose to set a new conscious tone for our lives. Just with focus and dedication, it's kind of that frequency. But within the realm of air, we have peace today, which I love because peace to me is also water in the Dagara cosmology, but peace in the air, it reminds me of a dove and Prince, of course, when doves cry. So often we struggle with these internal thoughts, right? It's like the battle between the minds, between the right and the left, and they're having their own thing. It's between the head and the heart and the beings and the doings and the masculine and the feminine and giving or receiving or even opening up, right? To give and receive. But air teaches us to really take a breath and take a pause, and that the inhale is just as vital and important as the exhale. That's why I like to take a pause for 3 breaths. And that we also need to we need both sides of our brain to think completely. It's like bringing in our logical and our intuition to course the wave. So peace kind of prevails through this dualistic struggle. That's where it gets resolved within when both sides of the mental mind are brought to the whole, the container. So first we connect with our fires and the elemental beings of fires and healings. And then how can we more fully activate the energy of peace in our inner world? So it kind of is like air and goes out into the outer world. So who we are is about to become evident within the next 24 hours or less with the frequencies of the elemental realm and the cosmic highway. But following peace, we also have air. Once again, but we have meditation and prayer, the realm of air. So it's a very spacey day, right? So this is space, the time and the place where we learn to quiet our mind, which I found curious, receiving the inner wisdom, that guidance. So prayer is how we ask for assistance on the inner realm. And meditation is getting the clarity. It's just this powerful way to listen and really receive the guidance. So when we pray, it is important to know that our prayer is answered, right? So just praying from a place of feeling, that feeling place that our prayers are answered, and knowing that really sets the vibrational tone. So if we pray from an unsure position, you're going to energize that insecurities or whatever it is, doubts, frequencies at that level as well. So we really must know that when we hold the frequency of our request, that it is done, so mote it be, so it is. So we may be being called, just like air, called to take the time and the space to actively meditate or prayer. So we've got these qualities of calling on the air spirits, the winds and the clouds. But I also find it curious that we actually had fire last Friday from my oracle deck. I put the card back, but fire, was the first message then as well. So fire, we're in a fire year. We're in a season of fire, or the end of it, Aries. Our actions and our intentions, our drive as well. So I find that pretty curious, being that we're at that end day. But on the elemental highway, I'm just always curious, I guess. I like to stay that way. We have a Yin Metal Ox of a day. Sorry, just checking things out. So this is a Xin Chou, so fire. Just looking at our day, fire. The realm of fire. We need some fire. I find it kind of funny that I pulled a fire and air card because air is also the realm of metal, which we could use both. But our day is supported. Does have the earth below, even though it's an ox and a dragon. On the earth plane, the elemental animals there. But the ox is storage for metal. It's part of the water direction. So metal produces water. So it's kind of a balanced day between the yang and the yin energies as well. But the ox is the plow. This is actually similar to the frequency of last year. And our year stem this year it's that oceanic tiger. It's like the big wave of a tiger, a different frequency. But even though the earth is the resource element of our day, it's strong, making our day unable to shine, however, because it's buried deep. We only have one little yin metal there. The others are already hidden. So it's not able to shine its light. The water can polish up the metal and moisten the earth. Wet earth is actually good. Light water, like a mist, could also be sustainable to be used. But we need yang fire, the sun. That's the most needed element, bringing warmth, making our day shine. So it's not too strong, really, too much heat, just a nice warming heat, like the rays. Like I am literally seeing the rays, different rays within different energetic centers streaming, but it's about balance. Fire, but not a force of fire, a nice warming fire, or those rays actually. Again, I'm sure I've said this before, but yin metal people, they embody the glittering metal, the precious stones and the gems. All that glitters is golden. Kind of reminds me of that song. Gems that sparkle when the light catches them, reflecting. So it's just like imagine jewelry catching the light of the sun, sparkling its brilliance. So these people, they're the ones that have this superior kind of taste. It reminds me of like Lennox, my grandma had Lennox, all kinds of Lennox things, whether they were dolls or bowls or whatnots, crystal. I'm thinking of like just Easter crystal. I'm thinking of it has to be crystal. That's all I can see in my mind's eye. So they have that kind of a taste. They feel that they deserve only the very best. They radiate elegance, luxury, aesthetic cleanliness, if you will. It's the colors literally of metal and gold, whites. I'm seeing really whites and beiges, metal colors, grays. But they're actually very careful at choosing the people that they associate with because they love being in the spotlight. They're really not afraid of taking that center stage. They actually are the ones who look for a way to actually receive that attention. So these people, they are attractive in the physical. And also their mind is very Spock intelligent kind of thing. Even though they'll cave in once they know they're being played with a little bit of flatter. They're very sensitive beyond their exterior. I mean, it appears tough, but they're really sensitive on the inside. They tend to scare people off because of their voice, their vocalness. Metal, which is like if this was a metal tiger, that would be pretty scratchy. With anger, actually, or courage is also the opposing force of, or not courage, that's a strength actually for a metal person. But in truth, they really care more about others than they let on. By nature, they're selfless. They may appear stubborn, but they really do the high premium thing on relationships. And even if they have a good reason, they will give in. They do stand down. Their minds are really wired to think differently, out of the box. They come up with otherworldly solutions to problems that you might not have seen. It's that otherworldly perspective. So they have these ideas that are more unique, but they're also doable at the same time, just making them great assets in the whatever field they're in. And they have mental clarity. They're agile in their minds. These people, they're often seen moody because of that as well, but they have this affinity again for just luxurious things. China, it was China. I kept going crystals, but the plates are China. I'm thinking of my mother. She had China and silver. It was just a thing, but whatever. They're really lovers of luxury, right? So they only want the best. They only want the best that the world has to offer. So they've been known as even being, materialistic, greedy, labeled as a gold digger. But when they're kept under control, they can serve as being a motivator to do more. And they really need to constantly kind of save face. Their self-image is very important. That's just a metal frequency as well. But our person doesn't have that much happening. It's hidden, right? Wants to come out, dug out of the ground as well. But they can also, they do what they can to ensure that their reputation doesn't become tarnished like silver. When silver becomes tarnished, they're metal. They want to stay polished. But they really are the vainest element of all. They're actually got Venus is associated with metal as a frequency as well, as far as the planet goes. But they're willing, they'll take the wrong decision to save their face, to protect their shiny, polished image. So logic is then blinded by their feelings due to them being emotional at times. I always think of cats needing the soil. I don't know why. But what happens is this leads them to make choices based on being blinded by the light, so to speak. So if the choice before them they can't grasp hold of, they may feel lost. And if that's the case, they're going to act on their instincts, which usually always works out well for them because they turn into those gut instincts, the solar plexus. And that often leads to a better choice. So they thrive on being praised, polished. That's Yin Metal. They just feel more confident. They love compliments. But on the same note, the opposing side of the coin is when they feel humiliated. They don't let go of that very easily. Even though they may try to hide it, Yin Metal people, they become weak. So our day is kind of weak. Maybe we lose some confidence within ourselves or criticism, So our day really has this outward desire to always look attractive physically and mentally as well. Possibly becoming stylish, looking attractive, not just in a pretty face kind of way, but mostly for the trendy, the luxurious, the chic. I'm just thinking of all the luxurious things. The world is hilarious sometimes. Being in the now even. But they do feel a need to create their own style, have a personal brand. You might do this yourself today. And if you can't achieve that physically, maybe try to make up for it through our mental abilities or a skill, right? That's kind of the craft, the frequency of the day today. But these people are actually talented extroverts. They flaunt what they already what they already have naturally. They're not afraid to show the world what they can do. They love the limelight, the attention, and being praised at work, that too can be their audience. Just people around them, their audience at work. So they do feel more confident about themselves. So I would be bringing in the element of water today to shine up and polish our day. Water to a yin metal, that's communication. That's the activity for the day. But this person could utilize also their intuitive gifts, creating a luxurious kind of genie kind of life. Work with the genes, the gens. But being that our day is one of craving luxuries of life, being in the, sorry, I was going to sneeze. That's hilarious between my dad and my sniffles. But being that our day is like craving luxury, right? It's being in the center of the stage, the attention center, just showing not just your beauty and your elegance, but also the intelligent mind. So it really is an amazing energy today to utilize our light, our brilliance, our mineral, our mental acuity to shine our light, just polishing us up. So if you are this day master, herbs are a thing. Herbal teas, herbs for health, because yin metal isn't friendly to dirt. And we got some dirt there. Even though it's like the comfort for a yin metal person, herbs, go with herbs. It supports minerals. So minerals or metals, they become sick when they're dirty. They're a little bit more prone to it. I'm just musing. I'm not a doctor by any means, but if you do have this day master, just try it. Herbal tea. And even on the emotional level, negative feedback doesn't do well for them either, on the emotional frequency. Even affirming positive thoughts as well, the mind, right? So if you're being critical or self-criticism, that's when you become crushed. But again, they are pure, elegant, brilliant, cultured. Kind of reminds me of chefs when they cultivate food, amazing dish, a pretty picture of food. Witty as well, but they prefer working in teams and facts and figures, stuff like that. Metal, I'm seeing numbers for some strange reason. Accountants, usually accountants are metals. Estheticians are that career as well. But Matt Damon actually is a yin metal day master who I love. Paul Walker, cars, and Angelina Jolie, which makes me kind of want to look into Brad Pitt's chart there as well to see kind of how the elementals play out. Conan O'Brien, which I found curious. So being that we are really in the end degrees of Aries, who we are, who am I, this is the frequency we have been upcycling since we entered the season. So if you are creating a new character, updating your image, your self-image, how the world sees you, possibly you may have done everything to create an updated new version of yourself. You know how you get a book and they do the updated rewrite of it. That's kind of our image of ourselves. So with the frequency of today, the cosmic soup all swirling together, all of our characters, right? If anything feels a little mystifying, as if we're moving beyond the speed of light, it's time to shine, letting it really set in and really become our foundation of who we are, creating on this earthly realm, manifesting, bringing into the material where it becomes physical in our reality, where energy goes from matter, or energy takes form and becomes matter. It's kind of what's happening. So this is when the behavior, because we're in the frequency of Aries, our character, who we are, how we are seen, becomes manifest. It's a habit. So it may or it may not feel familiar. It's the unfamiliar. So it's this realm of the in-between. It kind of feels like our morphogenetic field, actually, if I feel into it. So it's not in the past. It's not in the future. It's these threadings between time and space, holding our faith channel, the universe, right? The universe is juicy. It is unwavering. It does implode, right? But just holding our faith, inspiring ourselves with what we wish to manifest, taking fire to inspire. We've got some air, peace, bringing it into this reality, and keeping our eye, an eagle eye on the prize and focus. We've been planting seeds for our future life. We started this, I think, in the beginning of Aries. I talked about planting seeds in your garden. But what are the seeds that you wish to see growing and fruiting under the tree, right? The tree of life, tree of knowledge, the Akashic library of all that is, right? So if you have been taking the action to see a radical shift, that shows up in my cowrie shells quite often, having to do something radical in ways to get us on a different pathway. It's a raw, authentic behavior shift. Even our image, the self-image, and having a yin metal day, it's time to flow into the streams of the future, possibly waving goodbye. Just imagine it in your eyes, your mind's eye, or my left one, apparently, waving goodbye to that. Just wave goodbye. Put your arm behind you. But often when we are at a crossroads, and this is one of who we are authenticating. We are in the spring too. So it's like being mindful, mental clarity. Sometimes the doors that open are the ones that are pulling us back into those not so kind behaviors when we criticize ourselves or sabotage our greatness. That will weaken a yin metal day, right? So we get in our own way. We're muddling up our minds with the chaos, the cosmic clutter. So be positive, create those affirmations. Words hold power, right? So often life is a test. We've got so many tests. The realm of the fae, the fairy challengers, testing our awareness, our insight, to see how devoted and determined we are. So it's like, is this healthy? Is it for our highest good or our well-being? And it's holding matter together. It's merging our energy field as well, energy to matter. The energy body demystified. It's at a super juicy price right now, from the $999 to the $666. But if we can hold space to authenticate ourselves, it reminds me of verifying an update on your Mac when you see the little swirly thing spiraling around. Totally is what it reminds me of. So loving ourselves, having faith in our awareness, our consciousness, our awareness to all the fields, all the dimensions, having trust, faith and trust to the being who resides within us. So it's in this magical moment. So we have some planets and places that have never been in our current lifetime right now. Jupiter and Neptune, just saying that out loud, right? That is like the benefactors. But I would fill into the Earth star below your feet, ringing in those manifestations, because tonalities are coming in of who we are to become, our future self. Our future self is almost here. So for myself, I am holding the field for myself, committing to and also taking space and time to identify what is going to feel like to be positively charged, like lightning, like an eccentric kind of change, similar to electricity, like if it zaps you. Yeah. Sorry, just seeing all these atoms and cells and electrons. So funny. But feeling the collective frequencies of being positively connected to the world at large, the village, the public audience that we have this with this day. So we've got some generative forces memorizing the memoirs in our bones of a positive feeling for the public to share our light. So this is going to be the light that shines bright, just guiding myself through my own personal efforts, just moving forward. It's not a push-pull or a tug. It's just a flow, knowing I'm safe, I'm in my integrity, and I am committed to those emotional tones, those frequencies, both energetically and shamanically. So it's this tonality that's going to protect me from the others so I can still do my magic, my own medicine, committing to the tones and the sounds. It's a feeling, it's a foundational feeling that we can reverberate into the Earth star that's really been ingrained in my personal memory, those memoirs. So it's a day to really stay positive, be the light, be juicy in all of our thoughts, feelings, beliefs, communications, and actions. I'm just sorry, I was just laughing that my dad was not realizing what I do. It's hilarious. This is what I do. But there's no need to bring any thoughts of lackluster, no need to hold back. Life is what it is sometimes, right? So hold the frequency, the tonality, the sound of love, abundance, trust, faith, all the goods and the gooders, the juicy and the juiciers. It's time to fly to the sky beyond infinity. Be the dove, the peaceful dove. So I would affirm with the Earth Star online and the root center, it's our manifesting in the physical realm center, ingraining it literally from the root into the earth. Bring it down from the crown into the realm of the root and release it into the Earth Star, the Lam channel. And actually I would bring in the channel of the sacral, the Vam, the peace. Peace is there. Release that into the earth plane. But I would be authenticating, like I am authenticating and committing to my future self, like beyond the yellow brick road, the Wizard of Oz, the self-image of a path that is serving my higher self, my Sarah, my future self, my inner genius, my purpose. So what is that feeling? Because feelings carry frequencies and waves. So it's going to be different for each and every one of us, but it should be the feelingest, gooeyest, goodiest, yummiest feeling of all. So we are really ready to be in our skin, be our innate fire, our power, and see the blessings of our garden, our joy. You know, metal is also, like I said, courage. Courage, we've got courage, kindness, contemplation, and we do have peace. Water is also peace. So it's kind of bouncing around between the elemental messages and the element of the day and the cosmos. We've got all these yummy things, really. So if anything negative comes, just flick it away like it's the gnat. I have clients do this all the time, just flicking their hands. But we create the reality that we live in. So if your village isn't bringing you utopia, the joy of abundance, the grid of happiness, where we feel heartfelt fulfillment, we are like overflowing, then we are not holding the tone, the note, the sound to that highest elevated frequency. So with all of that, thanks for tuning in today. InShalla and Ashe. Make it a blessed day. I literally have a blessing bowl here. I was going to show that, but it's got stuff on it. But again, just make it a blessed, grateful day. Just be grateful for what you already have in your village, and add more to the container for manifesting the being that really resides within each and every one of us. Make it a magical day, InShalla and Ashe. Blessings as always, and I will see you on the other side.